Welcome back to Affexio. This is part 3 of our psychological series, a story about attention, discipline, and the quiet ways our habits reveal us. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to Affexio for the full 10-part journey and more thought-provoking stories like this. Let's continue. After she adjusted the seating and spoke to me about attention, I became aware of something I'd never questioned before. Not thoughts, not emotions, but where my awareness physically landed. When focus slipped, it didn't drift upward or outward. It fell downward, toward the floor, toward movement, toward grounding points I didn't consciously choose. I started noticing it in myself. When I felt uncertain, my gaze lowered. When I felt overwhelmed, my attention followed motion near the ground, steps, pacing, stillness. It wasn't fascination, it was avoidance. Avoiding eye contact, avoiding responsibility, avoiding presence. And somehow, she noticed this before I did. During one lecture, she changed how she moved. Instead of pacing constantly, she stood still. Feet planted, posture calm, presence steady. Stability, she said, is often misunderstood as rigidity. But real stability comes from knowing where you stand. As she spoke, she didn't move at all. The room felt different, grounded, focused, unavoidable. At the end of class, she gave the group a simple instruction. Before you leave, she said, stand still for 10 seconds. Feet flat, no shifting, no fidgeting. It sounded trivial, but those 10 seconds were uncomfortable. I realized how often I relied on movement to escape stillness. How rarely I allowed myself to simply stand with intention. As students filed out, she stopped me briefly. You ground yourself by looking down, she said calmly. That works, until it doesn't. She met my eyes. True grounding isn't about where your attention falls. It's about where you choose to place it. She stepped aside, allowing me to leave. No judgment, no accusation, just clarity. That night, I practiced standing still. No phone, no music, just posture, breathing, awareness. It felt strange, almost exposed. But I understood something important. My fixation wasn't about what I noticed. It was about control versus comfort. Movement had been comfort. Stillness demanded control. The next day in class, I didn't let my attention drift downward. I stayed present, not perfectly, but intentionally. And for the first time, I felt less observed. Not because she stopped watching, but because I had started watching myself. Part 3 is about recognizing patterns we never question. In Part 4, you'll see what happens when awareness turns into challenge. And when discipline is tested, not explained. If you're following this journey, make sure to subscribe to Affexio for the next chapter and more psychological storytelling. Part 4 is coming soon.